first one was the crystals, or the pan flute. The next one was the water, which is on the bottom. Wind, it's the first one. The Fisher sound, which is right here. The clock tick. Be careful, you do not choose this one. It's actually that one. So when these are in order, click the button. It will play through. If you're right, the door will swing right open. And you will come to, most likely, the most frustrating puzzle in Myst 1. It's not really hard for me because I'm used to sounds due to being a musician hobbyist. Nor was it that hard for my fiance, who was able to pick up sounds pretty easy. But for some of you out there, this puzzle will be very difficult. Now, the basics of this puzzle are that you are in the middle of a cave, and that you will play a sound to guide you in the direction that you're supposed to be going. That sound correlates with the sounds that we've found in the Mechanical Age. The first time I played through this, I did not go to the Mechanical Age. I went to this age first, and I was able to correctly deduce the sounds just because of guessing and getting right. Because if you don't get it right, you actually go to a dead end. I only found a couple dead ends, and one of them was because I mistook the north sound for the south sound. But since you heard the sound, that was the north sound that we found in Mechanical Age. This should be much easier now that you're familiar with them. Now it was the west sound, the cricket chirp, frog thing. If I were you, I would write down the path that you're taking. That way, when you come back to get the red page, you'll know exactly where to go without having to look over and listen for sounds. Not only that, if you happen to end up in a dead end where you won't hear any sounds whatsoever, you'll be able to backtrack and figure out, okay, maybe I said south, but it was really north. Maybe I said west, but it's really east. So, since I have it written down, I'm not going to really go into details about this. You already know what the sounds are and should be able to distinguish them from each other. If you're having trouble, you can always watch the video and see if your path changes, or if there's differences in your path and my path. So, the thing that I miss about original Myst in this is the fact that you can actually skip all this in real Myst because they're actually played by a QuickTime movie file. In this one, because it's really rendered, and the player data and model data are all currently located here, you can't skip it. Keep in mind that we will be back just to get the red page. See what Sirius has to say. But with the hard part out of the way, you should be able to figure out how to get back to the end. Because I have this written down, I'm just going to let you know that there are only 3 more steps, northeast being one of them, so there are 2 more after this. It makes it kind of difficult because you're kind of stuck underground. You have no idea what direction you're, which way to go, how many places you have to go, how many more until the end. It doesn't really give you a sense of accomplishment. It just throws you into a maze and says, okay, work your way out. Another thing too, if you happen to get stuck in the maze, you have no idea where you are and you want to just exit out, take a breather and come back, you can hit backtrack until you return to the cave where we started. That way you can restart from the beginning of the puzzle, maybe take a break, breather, rethink things, make sure that you're able to return with a fresh start. But that's the end of the Salantic Age. Arguably the hardest age in Myst. I didn't find it that hard. I'm sure a lot of you didn't either, but some people will. Though I will suggest that if you find it hard, that you avoid Riven, because that game is tremendously hard. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this blue page back in and let you listen to Akanar.
Oh, my friend. Bring in the blue pages. I see. Convinced Osiris is guilty. Pray, do not release him. He will destroy me, just as he is. The innocent bystander has been wrongfully tricked into imprisonment. And you have observed his unbridled lust for riches. In the 4 remaining worlds, some party was almost perfect. Final blow to the father. You tricked him into believing that it was I who was the murderer. I didn't murder father. Bring me the remaining pages, please. A liar. All in a liar. Must not be free. What would the remaining blue pages from the last age of Myst. I must be free. You must free me. I cannot bear it here for eternity. Free me.
So, apparently, Sirius killed their father, and according to Akanar, that is the reason that he was imprisoned, because he tricked his father into thinking that he was guilty. Not really much sense, but hey, it's not rocket science. So, now that we're back in the Salantic Age, we've got one last task. Grab the red page, give it back to Sirius, and then go through that stupid puzzle one last time. I know some of you are looking forward to it. I kid. But the good thing is, at least we don't have to go through this again. Believe it or not, after we're done with this age, we'll be 75% done with real Myst. Not including the additional Age of Rhyme. Of course, the Age of Rhyme is more for fans of Riven than anything. So, if you are interested in Myst, then I highly suggest that you check out its sequels. Riven is an amazing game. It's probably one of my top favorite games of all time. However, it is very brutally difficult. some of the puzzles in Riven actually make this puzzle right here look like connect the dots. But it is way bigger. There's a much better storyline. And even with the pre-rendered backgrounds, that game is just amazing. I highly suggest Riven. The next one after Riven is Myst 3 Exile. Well, basically, Cyan said Riven was supposed to be the last Myst game ever made. Afterwards, Robin Miller decided to leave Cyan Worlds to pursue other interests non-related to gaming. So, you might ask, how is there a Myst 3? Well, what happened was, because Broderbund was originally the producer, they actually got some of their assets bought out by Mattel and Ubisoft. So, they actually commissioned a Myst 3. However, at the time, Cyan was very busy with Uru, which is Ages Beyond Myst. Uru was supposed to be the online game. More about that in a minute. So basically, they were super busy, so they decided they would license out the rights to the Myst series to another company. They had a little contest. Somebody decided. So many people actually brought ideas to them about what should be Myst 3. Presto Studios ended up winning. So Presto decided to work on Myst 3 Exile under the publishing rights of Ubisoft. And it was kind of a drastic change, but it's still very good. It's still pre-rendered, but it also has the ability to look in any direction, so it's almost like it's not pre-rendered. The only thing is it takes up a good amount of space for a game that came out in 2003, I believe. 2001, sorry. So afterwards, Presto actually went bankrupt and dissolved. So Ubisoft decided to take the reins into their own hands. They decided to make Myst 4, which in my opinion had a very good storyline. The gameplay was okay. There were only a couple ages, but the story was pretty amazing. After that, you should play Uru, which was supposed to be an online MMO. However, Ubisoft practically begged them to make single-player content because they weren't sure how an MMO puzzle game would work. So, at the request of Ubisoft, Cyan decided to make single-player Uru on top of multiplayer, which was a good thing because multiplayer Uru ended up getting cancelled. However, it was revived twice, once in 2006 under the GameTap service, and once later after that was cancelled, and Cyan released the Uru source code. They also host a server allowing you to play Uru for free, so if you like that, check it out. I'll continue after we hear from Sirius.